Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another reading and a new week. If you see some smoke on the side here, it's just my incense burning and I've just cleansed the room, so that's why. I have the cards here, so let's see what's coming in this week. Gosh, it's been quite intense Scorpio season, and we already have some cards coming out. Ooh, okay. Two of inspirations. Inspiration, not inspirations. Okay, this is basically Two of Wands. Those of you who are familiar with tarot, yeah, Two of Wands. It's like kind of like future planning, but also like getting clarity on what you're wanting, what is out there, kind of like creating a new vision. Scorpio season has been all about like healing certain past aspects, belief systems about yourself, and now we are stepping into the next part, which is now the Sagittarius season, and that's all about setting bold intentions, a new vision for your life, a new vision of what you're wanting. This is not the time to hold back, actually. Not at all. So this is when you actually want to be very not ambitious, that's not the word, optimistic, you know. If you are feeling like, gosh, certain goals and things didn't happen before, didn't come true, those limitations are going to be a lot lower, and your strive towards your kind of like big picture is going to be aided through the universe right now. It's a good time to do that, good time to set bold, big intentions, what you're wanting from your life. So that's what Two of Wands is about. Ace of Materials, beginning of money. Okay, some of you who have been in a money drought for a long time, this is the beginning of it, where you are receiving back the things that perhaps you invested in a long time ago. Perhaps it was a year ago. Perhaps it was, you know, you've invested a lot in your learning. You've invested in, perhaps there's more like more other investments like your house, a property, or more tangible things. For some of you, this may be more internal work. Maybe you had a coach or someone like that who helped you kind of see your belief systems, and you know, you've kind of done the healing part of it with other people, but now it's time to like strive forward towards what you're wanting. You've gone through the healing phase, and it's more like, what I see this as is return on investment, and only the beginning of it. Like it's starting though, so it's not just like you know, it's not like saying lump sum, but everything is going to start coming. So it's the beginning of the return on investments, which is great. Especially those of you who've been waiting for some sort of results for a long time. That's what is coming for you. Right, let's have a look. What else? Wow, okay. A Page of Emotions. I almost said ace. Page of Emotions, okay. So, beginning of certain emotional journey. Now, I do see these tentacles kind of pointing out. I would say this is not necessarily that your emotions are grounded. It's more like they're spread out. They are spread out through multiple different things. Not that that's a bad thing. It's actually quite a good thing. Okay, this is the message I get. So it's very much like water energy around, and it's spreading of the wings, you know. But here in the middle, beautiful depiction of this, by the way. The artist has done incredible job in delivering this message as well. Here you see like a forest, right? Forest, earth, energy, anywhere you're out in the nature, that's what grounding is for. So basically your emotions are not balanced at the moment. They're kind of spread out in lots of different directions. That may look something like you're wanting to do lots of different things. You're wanting to, you've got your hands in many different projects maybe. Perhaps this also applies to your love life. Maybe you're socializing too much with different people, For some of you, this is more like that you are spreading yourself too thin, being in different environments, different projects with different people too much. It's time to ground yourself and narrow yourself down. That's the little hidden piece that you want to move towards, actually. But your tentacles right now are spread out way too wide. And that's perhaps why you haven't seen certain progress in certain areas that you've wanted to see progress in, because you're spread out way too much. Six of Voices. Okay, this is all about obstacles. Yeah, it's obstacles. So you have had obstacle after obstacle come up, and that's because you've had quite a few things going on at the same time. Some of you might even be burnt out. So it's really time to take care of yourself right now. Some of you are really burnt out, actually. Time to take care of yourself. If anything, this week is all going to be about rest week. Take rest. You're burnt out. If you've spread yourself too thin, managing your friendship circles, your work circles, social life, combined with your work projects that you've done so many different things, and now that may have also presented obstacles in your way. Those obstacles may look something like, okay, you are meant to you were meant to like do one deadline for this, but that got delayed because you were busy doing certain other things, that then those got delayed. Then you're kind of like switching between lots of different things. That flow has been there, but it's required quite a bit of energy, especially if you were a novice in all of those different projects. So that's what I have here coming up quite strongly, that someone is very much needing to rest and you're burnt out. Yeah. Ooh, okay. I need to shuffle this a bit more. Perfect. Wow, okay. Page of Materials, which is actually Two of Pentacles. Sorry, not Two of Pentacles. Why did I say Two of Pentacles? I think because I thought of I thought of like oh, okay, Page of Materials. You're comparing yourself to someone else. This whole rose garden, when you're comparing yourself to this one rose that you saw, you're comparing yourself to one kind of rose that you once saw, or perhaps have seen in its light, and not in the phases where it's just left with thorns and not the actual petals, whereas you yourself are a whole rose garden. It's a comparative energy. Gosh, that's what I get here. It's yeah, it's a huge comparison energy. Wow. Someone is really comparing their life to someone else. The message that I get here is, especially if you have been either single for a long time or have, kind of not had a relationship for a while, you internally kind of feel okay with that. You don't necessarily, you're actually quite at peace with yourself. You've managed to give yourself a lot. However, the metrics with which our value is decided in the society are different to the metrics that you have assigned to yourself, which is why it feels like you're not enough. What do I mean by that? The metrics set by society is, if you go socializing and if you meet some other people, some of the conversation topics or things that they might ask is like, oh, how's your job? How is your, about your partner, kids, when are you going to have that? Maybe you have those certain expectations put onto you, and perhaps there is someone in your social circle who's got this 5-bedroom house in, I don't know, in some exotic place and they've got a family, they're married now, they've got kids, they're starting this new life, and they've managed to get a pretty cool job, and like everything is in order and set. What feels like is set for them. Whereas maybe last week you tried a gluten-free diet and you feel so good, but comparing that, a change that relatively seems quite small in your life but actually made you quite happy seems almost like, how can I compare with someone from who perhaps you grew up with, went to school with, or you knew in the past, who've got a house, a partner, and have got all these things. How could you possibly compare yourself to that and sort of have that level, And here's kind of the way that you can switch your narrative. You're comparing your one phase of your life to another phase of their life. A path that they decided to take at this point in time, the path that you didn't decide to take at this point in time. It feels like maybe they have it all with seemingly have it all with a partner, a house, and all these things. And having that as a metric with what you're working on, which might be something very little, having just a morning walking routine. That is something has been very important to you. The importance of that thing in this phase of your life is equal to the importance of what they have got there in their life at this point in time. And there is just no comparison because you are both in different phases. You're not in the same phase of life. So putting this under the microscope and kind of comparing little things here and there is just not fair to yourself. It's not fair to yourself. You're basically looking at a metric system for one decided by society, and it is hard. I'm not saying it's not hard, but what I'm saying is you can allow yourself a bit more grace and kindness to yourself, that you are actually doing your best too. Your time for those things, if you want those things, hasn't come yet. It just hasn't. And so that comparison is not fair. It's not fair to you to be able to say that. Yes, there will be people who would be like, oh, they've got kids and a house and that's all they can talk about. So when you go into those circles, just be mindful that they're talking about those things because that's what they have decided to do and go into. If you're more into your most amazing hobby like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and if you're talking about that and they're talking about their kids and the new house that they got, there isn't a comparison, but your happiness level that both of you have is probably going to be the same. It's going to be the same because you're comparing one phase, which is like of buying a house, building a family, and all of this aspect, with your phase of really enjoying your freedom and your time being this person who can literally do whatever they want at this time. That is just as precious as having having all the other aspects of your life. Okay, that's what I have here coming up very strongly. And the other thing I get is, after the comparison, is 3 of inspiration, which is use this almost like comparison or envy to actually build that what you want next. If you viewed that phase of their life, or whatever certain people have talked about, if you feel like, you know what, maybe I feel this jealousy or comparison because I want those things, it's actually really a good time to say, I want that for myself next. You really want that for yourself next. Maybe certain influencers or something that you are viewing on social media. Be careful of social media, by the way, it's not real. So if you're viewing things on there, or if you're viewing things on, social media is the only thing I can think of right now, which pretty much is the most wonderful thing as well as quite destructive thing. So really use that as envy and inspiration and your vision board. Hey, you know, this person has that, and I would really like that too as next phase of your life. And right now is such a good time to manifest, by the way. Such a good time to have bold intentions. So if you want a house next, and if you want a partner and build with someone, great time to do that. Great time to do that. Set your intentions high. This is not the time to limit yourself. It's time to really go for it. Then you do get 5 of materials, 5 of pentacles. You're okay. It's actually you feeling really left out. You're feeling like, gosh, they have it all. They have it all. How do I not have it all? Like, you know, just the example that I gave earlier, which is feeling left behind in life. You're feeling really left behind in life. Like, they have it. They've got all of this, a house and all this, you know. Very unfair comparison, you know. Yeah, very unfair comparison. I know exactly how that feels like. And I remember last year as well, when I was living in Berlin, I truly was living exactly what I had set myself as a goal, you know, and that was to live in central Berlin in my apartment. And I wanted to be able to see my friends. I wanted to be able to work in a cafe, not work in a cafe, but like have my coffee and like do work in a cafe, like with content creation and build my business. That's what I wanted to do. And that's what I was doing. And I set it out to do that. And when I was in contact with certain friends and certain friendship circles, here in England, or certain friends that live in Germany too, they have kids, they have a house, they are building a certain life, you know, and going towards that. And I remember feeling like, gosh, I just spent last weekend literally like, yeah, working on my website as well, but also like just pretty much watching Gossip Girl or a certain TV show like that. And I felt like, I mean, okay, we all love guilty pleasures, right? But I just felt like, gosh, what am I doing with my life? But prior to that, I was feeling great. Before that comparison with my friend, I was feeling great. I was feeling like I'm achieving my goals. My career is actually going pretty damn well. You know, I'm learning so much. This is setting me up for the next decade of my life. I even learned how to invest in stocks and shares. I learned all of that. I learned how to build a business from scratch. I learned healing techniques, which I was doing. I was a Reiki healer, and I was doing readings for different people. And yet this one meeting, this one talk with a friend made me feel not enough at that time, right? Even though I had everything I wanted. I had exactly what I had wanted to manifest, yet the comparison was just there. Oh, the comparison was just there, and it feels like you are behind in life when this is what it feels like, but you're not, because you're actually literally like in a different phase of life, you know. And then I did have a chat with this friend, you know, when I was talking to her, and she legit told me that, you know, sometimes I did feel like, you know, you're traveling the world doing all these things and you're traveling for your work. I wish I could do that as well sometimes, you know. And so there is that comparison from other people too towards you, you know. So that's what I'm saying. You got exactly what you wanted, and if you are getting exactly what you wanted, comparison is just not a fair thing to do towards yourself. Okay. Big message there. Let's get a couple more cards. Right, let's get these. Gosh, that was a lot of cards. Let's get these 3. Okay, the moon. We have the new moon coming up this week. So it would be wise to, or whenever you're watching this, the next new moon, it's wise to set new intentions, bold intentions, big intentions. really kind of getting clear on what you're wanting. And perhaps this friend of yours has just shown you exactly what you're wanting, which may be like a family, a place to live where you feel so free, so like just, yeah, a different place. Whatever you're wanting, it's that. The Hermit. Okay, we did get the card of Page of Emotions, which I talked about earlier. It's time to pull your energy back. It's the Hermit card. Especially if you feel called to like pull all your tentacles back and actually recalibrate yourself to create something new next. It's a good time to do that. Very good time to do that. And we did get Ace of Emotions, but it's reversed. Okay, Ace of Emotions, you can see the picture here. It's very beautiful, actually. It's almost like a surrender. It's like you're kind of trusting, but there's some sort of lack of trust. Perhaps a lot of you are overworking. Some of you can't stop working because you feel like when you're just relaxed, you feel like you're not doing enough. Yeah, but actually you need to. That's literally what is blocking what you're wanting next. It's to work less this week. Yeah. Okay. Let's get a couple of last oracle cards. Those with the tarot. Star Ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. Yeah, it's literally like getting away from that comparison. Oh my god, that was way too many cards. Surrender again. I can't. You see how similar these are. Yep, you need to surrender. You need to trust in the higher power, your higher self, the universe, spirit guides, whatever your belief system is. You need to surrender to them. They're actually trying to help you, but you doing too much, trying to control every aspect, is actually blocking it. Stargazer, another star card. We had Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul, and now we also got Stargazer, set your sights higher, Sagittarius season. Yeah. Very beautiful. For some of you, this may be to go outside in nature. I know it's colder months, but if you can see the stars a lot easier, then it's quite a nice season to be out in. Eagle. See from a highest perspective. Perhaps this is again for the comparison. Spring. See your seeds grow. Return on investment. Okay. Those were quite nice messages. So yeah, really, someone is self-sabotaging due to their comparison. That's what is happening when you know for yourself that your timeline is exactly right. It's because you're comparing it to other people. That's why you feel left behind. But you're not left behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be. So I think I'm done. Yeah. If you like that reading, and if you resonated with it, let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing what people are going through and whether the messages resonated. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you in the next one.